Well, hello there and good morning, kids. Today it's Monday, May 4th. For all the Star Wars fans, may the 4th be with you. Today is Star Wars International Day. Since it's May 4th, when you put it all together, it sounds like May the Force be with you. But it's May the 4th be with you. Okay, so happy Star Wars Day for the Star Wars fans that I have out there. I'm a Star Wars fan myself. You already saw my collection of Star Wars figures and many other things. But yeah, let's get down to business. First things first, what's up? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing okay and doing great. Please stay safe. Please wash your hands. Don't go out unless it's necessary. Now, I hope you had an amazing weekend, but now it's time to go back to work. As you know, I already sent activities for the May calendar. Today we start with new activities. We're going to be starting today working with phonology and language. Remember that I gave you free May 1st, so you didn't have to work it. Okay, nothing happens. You already have your check mark on the list that you already work. It was for the Labor's Day that we have here in Mexico, so don't worry about it. But today we're gonna be working, like I said, with phonology and language. Phonology, we're going to be working with pages 19 and 20. We're going to be learning new vocabulary since it is going to be lesson number 2. And then language, we're going to be working with pages 81 and 82. We're going to be working with reflexive pronouns, okay? So let's get down to business. Let me share my screen with you. Just give me 1 second. Excellent. Perfect. There we go. Phonology, again, pages 19 and 20. Lesson 2, we're going to be learning new vocabulary. Please remember that you can always click in here to watch the little video. It's a tongue twister. You can practice your pronunciation and how fluent you can be by speaking and practicing this tongue twister that is going to help you with the speaking ability, okay? Now, after you click on the video and practice tongue twister, you can ask mom and dad, whoever is with you, to practice it with you, to try it out. You're going to have fun, trust me. Now, after that, we're going to track number 7. Yes, you can listen to track number 6, but remember that I prefer track number 7 because it is going to help you to identify the word that you're going to be practicing and also how to use it in a sentence. You're going to listen to the word used in a sentence, okay? So let's see the words that we have in here. We have 16 words that are not that difficult. We have leprechaun, shoemakers, unless, advantage, riverbank, regretted, route, unmistakably, cobbling, jig, twinkle, handkerchief, disappeared, dashed, bushes, fooled. Remember now, my pronunciation, I try to make it as American as possible. My English, actual English, is a mix of British with a mix of Irish. So my English is way different when if I actually speak it like I always do. But I always try to make the English sound American since you're learning American English. Okay? If you hear that the pronunciation from what I said is different from the pronunciation of the audio, pay attention to the audio. Okay? Always remember that because what you're learning is American, not British. Okay? Good. After you listen to the words and you actually listen to it, to the word used in a sentence, then we can go to the next part of the work. That is page 20. Okay, on page 20, it says working with sounds. You're gonna have to listen to track 6 again, so you can listen to the words and work with the questions that are asking you. All the answers come directly from the vocabulary, okay? It says, listen to the word list again. and practice your pronunciation. Then write the correct words on the lines below. And it's asking you, number one, which words from the list end with the Z sound, like in is, okay? Z sound like in is. Number two, which words from the list have the D sound like in dah, dah, okay? Number three, which words from the list begins with the R sound like in rabbit, rabbit, okay? Number four, which words from the list have the L sound like in little, little. Number five, which words from the list have the J sound like in just, just. Make sure to listen to the words and then try it again. If you want to listen to how the words are pronounced, you can play the audio as many times as you need and want. After you're able to answer the 5 questions, we go to the self-assessment part. That it says, which words from the list are the hardest for you to pronounce? Write them on the line below. You have to write down here which words are the hardest for you. Remember, each of you is going to have a different answer, so it's okay. Then the other part, it says, which words from the list are the easiest for you to pronounce? Write them on the line below. Hardest, easiest words for you to pronounce. Understood? Great. That's all the work for phonology. Page 19 and 20, you're only going to be working with new vocabulary, and you're going to practice the sounds of different letters used in the vocabulary words. That's all for phonology. Let's move to language, page 81 and page 82. Reflexive pronouns. Okay, what is a reflexive pronoun before we see it? Sometimes we use the same subject, the same person, more than one time in a sentence. When we do that, we cannot say the same person that way because it's going to sound bad and it's going to have orthographical mistake, syntax mistake. So we have to use a reflexive pronoun. You're going to see some examples in a moment, but right now let's see what it says here in the book. We use reflexive pronouns to talk about actions where the subject and the object of the sentence are the same person. You're going to be like, okay, I don't understand anything. Don't worry. You're going to look at examples in a moment. But I need you to pay extra attention to this little table in here, this little chart. You have singular and plural. These, kids, are the reflexive pronouns. You're going to have the personal pronoun, you know, the I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, and then followed by a line, you're going to have the reflexive pronoun. That is going to go according to the personal pronoun. Example, I, the reflexive pronoun is myself. You, yourself. He, himself. She, herself. Not she's, not she-self or stuff like that. That doesn't exist. Herself, okay? It, itself. These are singular. If we go to plural, it's the same. We, it changes to ourselves. Ourselves. Look at this. It's not LF. It changes to LVES because remember it's one of the rules when we change to plural, okay? So we, ourselves, you, yourselves, they, themselves, okay? So this over here, on the left, you have personal pronouns. On the right, you have, followed by the line, the reflexive pronouns. They are both singular and plural, okay? So you have to pay extra attention to this because that's what you're going to need to use to answer the exercises on pages 81 and 82. Now, the examples. I is the subject of the sentence, to buy myself, the object of the sentence. You don't say, I am going to buy a pair of shoes. That doesn't sound good at all, okay? I am going to buy a pair of shoes. No, I am going to buy myself a pair of shoes. Now that sounds good. You have the subject and the object that are the same person, and you're going to use personal pronoun and then reflexive pronoun, okay? I am going to buy myself a pair of shoes. Let's see the other example. The baseball team, you're not talking about one, you're talking about many persons in that team, so it is a plural. The baseball team supported themselves. You're not going to say again, the baseball team supported the baseball team. It doesn't make sense. Yes, somehow it would be correct, but it doesn't sound good. So you have to change it for a reflexive pronoun. The baseball team supported themselves throughout the game. Understood? So please pay a lot of attention to the reflexive pronouns. Now, let's go to the exercise. It says, cross out the object in the sentences below. Then write a new sentence that replaces the object with a reflexive pronoun. You have to cross out the object, not the subject, the object, and then change it for a reflexive pronoun. Look at the example. Example is in here. It says, we prepared for the trip to Ireland. As you can see, it doesn't sound correct. You cannot place the same pronoun, personal pronoun in the sentence. You need to change it for a reflexive pronoun. We prepared, not we change it. You have to look at the little table, the little chart that we have up above. We is going to change for ourselves. We prepared ourselves for the trip to Ireland. See, it's not that difficult if you pay attention to the little chart above. Just remember, on the left, personal pronoun, and then followed by the line, it's gonna be the reflexive pronoun. If you pay attention to that, these exercises that are coming are not gonna be that difficult for you. So now, here you have two options. Whatever you do, it's up to you. You can write all the sentence again, or you can do the second option. You cross out the object and then just write the personal pronoun. I mean, the reflexive pronoun, sorry. Example, I'm gonna help you with number one as always. Jamie bought Jamie a new art set. Does that make sense? No, of course not. Jamie bought Jamie a new art set. No, we cross out the object, which is the second Jamie, Jin, Jin, we cross it. And then we have to change Jamie for a reflexive pronoun. Jamie, but Jamie is a he. Perfect. It is a he. So now that you find the personal pronoun he, you have to see how it's going to be as a reflexive pronoun. Jamie bought himself a new art set. Jamie bought himself a new art set. So you have two options. You cross it out and you write all the sentence again. Jamie bought himself a new art set. Or second option, you cross out the object and then you just write the reflexive pronoun, himself. As long as you're able to understand it, you can do it. I suggest you do the first option. But if you want to do the second option, don't worry. I'm still gonna check it and see if you're correct. That is the exercise for page 81. Let's go to the exercise for page 82. Page 82, it says, we're still with reflexive pronouns, okay? It says, many reflexive pronouns can act as either direct objects or indirect objects. We already have seen these two topics, direct objects and indirect objects, on the books 4 and 3, okay? If you have doubts, make sure to check them. If not, don't worry, I'm still gonna give you a really brief explanation of them. But let's continue reading with the instruction. It says, remember, a direct object is the thing the verb acts on. Don't worry, you're gonna remember in a moment. The indirect object is the person or thing that receives or is affected by the direct object. Example of direct object. I always enjoyed myself at the theater. Okay, if we go back to it, it says a direct object is the thing the verb acts on. Okay, we have to find the verb in this example. I, no, that is a subject. Always, no. Enjoy, perfect, that is the verb. So, the verb, who is it acting on? It is acting on myself. Who is receiving that action? Myself. Okay, so I always enjoy myself. In this case, the reflexive pronoun is acting as a direct object. Now, as an indirect object, like it says in here, the indirect object is the person or thing that receives or is affected by the direct object. Let's see the example. She prepared herself a snack. Okay, who is preparing the snack? She. What is she preparing? Snack. To who is she preparing the snack? To herself. So herself is the indirect object. Let's have another example. I make lunch for myself. To who? Well, the first person. Who is preparing the lunch? I. What am I preparing? The lunch. To who am I preparing the lunch? To myself. So myself is going to be the indirect object because I am preparing the lunch to myself. Myself is receiving that action that I am doing. Okay? I know it's a bit complicated. Just try to remember. If not, just go back to book 3 or book 4. And if not, remember that we're changing the algebraic chat for live session in Zoom Mondays and Wednesdays. So today you can get online from 10 to 10:30. I'm gonna send the link, don't worry about it. I'm gonna send the link so you can get online in Zoom, and then live, I can answer the questions that you have, okay? So if you have doubts in this with the direct and indirect object, you can get online in the Zoom live session and I'll answer your doubts. Now, let's get down to business and answer the exercise. Your turn. Choose a reflexive pronoun from the word bank to complete the sentences below. Word bank are the reflexive pronouns. Now let's see the sentences. It says, example, he bought himself an ice cream cone. Obviously, himself has to go with he because you have to look again what I told you to pay a lot of extra attention, the chart where the personal pronoun becomes reflexive pronoun. Please allow me to introduce myself. Good, myself. I already gave you the number one like I always do, so you know how to do it. Please allow me to introduce myself because you're talking about you. She needs to, and then you have to write the personal pronoun. Did you teach? We are preparing. They got. You can amuse. A starfish can grow. He drives. And then you have to write the correct reflexive pronoun. Once you do that, it says here, writing skills. On a separate sheet of paper, write a fictional story using at least 5 of the reflexive pronouns. Then read it out loud to the class. No, we're not gonna do that part, okay? You're already practicing reflexive pronouns. And I think that with these 2 exercises, it's more than enough right now for you to be able to understand reflexive pronouns. If you have doubts, once again, you can get online in the Zoom live session to answer all your doubts and questions, okay? Now, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. There we go. Kids, that is all the work for today. Let's summarize what we're going to do. Phonology, page 19 and 20, we're learning new vocabulary that you have to practice listening to the track. Okay, then you have to answer the questions that you have according to the pronunciation of each letter that they're asking you. After that, you have to go to language, page 81 and page 82, and you're going to be working with reflexive pronouns. You have to pay extra attention to the chart that you have where the personal pronoun becomes reflexive pronoun. After you pay attention to that, you're going to be able to answer the exercises down. Now, also, you have to remember that we use reflexive and personal pronouns. When they become reflexive pronouns, we use them as direct or indirect objects. But in the end, it's the same. You just have to remember which reflexive pronoun goes with the correct personal pronoun. I, myself, you, yourself, he, himself, it, itself, she, herself, we, ourselves, you, yourselves, they, themselves. As long as you remember that, you're going to be able to answer the exercises. Once again, if you have doubts, you can always get online into the Zoom live session so I can answer your doubts. Okay, my kids, that's all the work for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Stay safe. Don't go out. Bye-bye.